Got an article here from VideoGamesChronicle.com. It's up on archive. I'll put the link in the description box. UK government says the games industry must act on loot boxes or face legislation. A working group will be formed to develop industry-led measures, quote unquote, to protect players. Now it says the UK government said the games industry must do more to protect vulnerable players from loot boxes, younger players, ideally, and that it will not hesitate to consider legislation if companies do not bring in sufficient measures to keep players safe. 2020 call for evidence on loot boxes launched by the UK's Department for Digital Culture, Media and Sport found that players who purchase loot boxes may be more likely to experience gambling, mental health, financial, and problem gaming related harms. The risk may also be higher for children and young people, it was found. Yes, I can tell you that's a damn fact. Kids will just go for whatever shiny thing is in front of them at the time. So on Sunday, the government called for the purchase of loot boxes to be made unavailable to children and young people unless they are approved by a parent or guardian. One of the problems is a lot of these mobile games, they'll want you to put in your parent's credit card or whatever, and then you ran out of energy for the day, or just you got to get this double diamond bullshit whatever from FIFA or Madden or what the hell ever, 2K, NBA 2K, same shit. We want to stop children going on spending sprees online without parental consent, spurred on by in-game purchases like loot boxes, said Cultural Secretary Nadine Torres in a statement. Game companies and platforms need to do more to ensure that controls and age restrictions are applied so that players are protected from the risk of gambling harms. You got companies, like I remember Bungie talking about, as well as other companies, they're not the only ones, talking about how they would consult gambling experts to try to get that right mix, that right balance to get people to want to spend as much money as possible. And stuff to get that high, temporary high, and then you basically put in their face that they need more, they need so on and such forth. And the article goes on, like I said, you can read this, you can read it for yourself. I'll put the link in the description box, but it's basically, I mean, a cynical side could say, well, that's because the government wants a piece of the action. Because there's a lot of money made off of this crap. Then of course the other side, the more optimistic side, would say, hey, look, they're trying to look out for people, especially kids. Those young people. I mean, a lot of times I'm in the mindset that if you end up blowing all your money, gambling on these boxes or whatever, but you're an adult, it sucks. But I mean, there's not really much I can do about it. But for kids, they absolutely have to be monitored. They have to do something about it. I'm not saying prevent it entirely. Like it says here, as long as you got a parent's permission. Okay, that can work. But anyway, it goes on and talks about how in July 2020, following repeated calls for action from the government, the House of Lords recommended that UK government act immediately to bring loot boxes within the remit of gambling legislation and regulation. EA has already acted on some of this stuff. In April 2018, the Belgian Gaming Commission found that loot boxes such as those sold for real currency in FIFA's Ultimate Team mode constituted gambling. As a result, games either have their loot boxes removed in Belgium or aren't sold there at all. EA, for example, announced in 2019 that it would no longer sell FIFA points in Belgium. Big surprise there. Last month, 20 consumer groups from 18 European countries launched a coordinated action asking authorities to pass regulations on loot boxes. At the end of the article, like I said, you can read it for yourself if you want, but essentially it's just kind of thing. On the one hand, it's like I don't want the government getting involved in this stuff because the government sucks at pretty much everything they do. They find a way to fuck it up somehow. But on the other hand, it's like somebody's got to do something. So, and the games industry is not going to regulate itself. So maybe the third party, maybe this is the best thing. I'm not really sure. Honestly, I think loot boxes and stuff are a bane on video games, and just they lead to so many just scummy practices in these games. You're talking all lines like 2K, for example. People buy their way to 99 overall players on day one, spending who knows how much money, $1,000, I don't know, a couple hundred, maybe. I'm not really sure, to be honest. It's been a long time since I played 2K because of this stuff. They started lowering the experience you could earn just by playing the game to kind of steer you towards buying it. And it's like, man, fuck off. I mean, I just won't play your game. But anyway, whatever. I'll go ahead, wrap this up here. Thank you very much for watching, and have a good one.